Hello, this is DrFrankLayman. I want to thank you for joining me, and I want to welcome you again. Today I want to talk about overcoming adversity. In adversity, we're going to build our strength, because strength is built from resistance. Through hardship, we're going to find opportunity. Let hardship harden your resolve. Never let it harden your heart. If anything, let it make you more empathetic, more inclusive to others. Don't be restrictive. Don't generate prejudice, but encourage one another. Try to help one another. And don't let anyone limit your potential. We are only limited by our gender, physicality, age, socioeconomic status, or past if we accept them as barriers. Now, those who know my writing know that's my quote, and I want you to notice this. In that quote, I don't diminish the existence that these things exist, that they're not barriers. I accept them. They are barriers. But I'm saying we should not accept them as limitations. We don't live and work in a vacuum. There are others, and they develop opinions upon us that can become resistance to our progression. Systems themselves are constructed to be barriers for some. Many great people have overcome the experience of being marginalized or controlled because of factors outside themselves. If someone who is oppressed can advance within a system set up to diminish them, that's very inspirational to me. I feel like we can use that in our own journey to advance our understanding, to advance our humanity, to advance our success. So I wanted to look at some of these people who advanced despite the restrictions placed upon them by systems or other people. In environments and cultures not receptive to who they were, they succeeded anyway. What does that teach us about ourselves? And how can we utilize that to achieve more and become the people we want to become? Sandra Day O'Connor, Supreme Court Justice. In her profession, that's the highest level to reach. I don't know that there are any shortcuts to doing a good job. We can learn a lot from the person's words who have been through greater adversities than we might see ourselves, and how to advance in these systems. Mary Cassatt, Impressionist artist. I am independent. I can live, and I love to work. And I believe she loved her work. And I believe what she was telling us is that we need to be independent. We have to network. We have to learn to work with others and be cognitively mature. But we have to be self-reliant. And we have to choose the vocation we love, because that's where we'll advance. Florence Nightingale, not just a nurse. Some people like to pigeonhole her in that way. No, she was far more than that. She was an administrator in her time. Very seldom does she get recognition for that. I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took any excuses. As I would say it, an excuse cannot conceal a lie. What is she saying about our advancement, or the way to advancing? Don't rely on excuses. Focus on results. Anne Frank, Persecuted. I think what she did for me, or what she does for me when I read her and I imagine her historically in a setting so hostile, is that she focuses on love and kindness and gratitude. And that motivated her disposition, not the condition she found herself in. Think of all the beauty still left around you and be happy, Anne Frank. If she can be grateful and happy in the circumstances she was in, we can also do that. Amelia Earhart, Adventurer. Courage is the price that life exacts for granting peace. The courage to try. And even if you fail, you've won a battle. You've overcome the resistance of fear. You'll never advance until you obtain that courage. Nothing in life should be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less. Maria Curie. It is not enough to know. We have to take what we know. We have to understand it. We have to apply it. And we have to apply it for the betterment of humanity. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt. What we find is that if you have a goal that is very, very far out and you approach it in little steps, you start to get there faster. Your mind opens up to the possibilities. May Carol Jamerson. Not only was she a physician, she's an astronaut. All of these great successes faced adversity and grew from it. And they had self-confidence. They had a belief in themselves when no one else did. And they worked at things worthy of doing. The test of adversity met with calm and resolve is the true test of intellectual maturity. That's something that they had. That's something we can train ourselves to do. All of them had self-efficacy, a belief in themselves, that they could make a difference, a belief in one's own ability to complete and achieve and reach goals. Set your goals. Believe in yourself. Train for success. By determining the beliefs a person holds regarding his or her own power to affect situations, it strongly influences both the power a person actually has to face challenges competently and the choices a person makes. These effects are particularly apparent and compelling with regard to our behaviors. I advocate daily self-development. It is not only a great approach to advance yourself, but it fortifies you against hardships. We're all going to face hardships. When we're in periods of great happiness and bliss, we should be training and preparing for hardships. Not thinking about them, we're thinking positively. But we understand that at every turn in life's journey, we'll come up to a barrier. And those weak in resolve, those who don't have a strong mindset, those who haven't prepared, will either wilt or advance. Some other thoughts to take from these brave and triumphant people is to not only endure, but to overcome hostility, resistance, barriers, hardships, not only to endure them, but to emerge, embrace, and be successful from them. So some key points that I would look at and reflect on as you consider these great people and many others who I haven't mentioned. Those who pass this test consistently set themselves up to exceed consistently, and that leads us further along in our achievement, mission, and joy. Those I highlighted who contributed to humanity despite social constraints and discrimination and disparagement, they demonstrate courage and selflessness, which can lead us to many important lessons. To love others doesn't always mean we will be loved in return. To respect others doesn't always mean that we'll be respected. But the mature person, secure in their skills and contributions and mission, will contribute all the more despite those barriers. To work hard without recognition or immediate gratification of recognition, because the joy of work is in the doing and the results for others. That the human spirit will not be confined or imposed or restricted. It will always be reached for and learned from and understood more to assist and protect those yet to come. That no matter how the deck is stacked against you, mastery of skill, learning and understanding, and a focus on results will gain those who possess the greater relevance no matter how they are previously viewed. Questioning ourselves in the face of discouragement and adversity to ask for and deliver more. That sometimes you have to fight an unwinnable fight to advance. If there is no resistance, there'll be no strength. So don't fear resistance. Embrace it. Learn that it is an opportunity. Limiting our perspective of others based on anything but their ability is limiting to all. Self-efficacy is an invaluable tool against prejudice. Competence builds confidence. You gain in confidence when you gain in competence. That means you have to work for it. Understanding, skill, and knowledge are transferable attributes that will follow you as you grow and develop in your career and as a person. Don't let the critics dictate your dreams. Many dreams are symbolic and at the same time they're real because reality is shaped by belief and perception. Seek out and align yourself with positive and sincere people. And the converse to that is avoid toxic people as best you can. If you cannot mold the environment, if you've done everything you can, that's where acumen, the seeking of acumen, will gain you independence. Don't define yourself by how small you can make others, but rather how large a net of inclusion you can cast. Don't let fear conquer you. Train, prepare, and then be courageous. Recently, there's a great film that was put out that I believe embodies these points and many more. I would recommend the movie Hidden Figures. I think it's a great example of some of the things I'm talking about. I also think there's some really strong attributes of great leaders in that movie. I want you to take notice of what John Glenn does. Simple acts of thoughtfulness, of mindfulness of others, of inclusion, aside from the main characters who exemplify everything we're talking about. Our deepest fear is that we are not inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing is small, doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we liberate from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's a quote from Marion Williams' book, Return to Love. I often remind myself, and I've said it this way, though I have experienced rejections many times, I never felt rejected. For within me resides a wellspring of belief. And I encourage you to adopt that and believe it. Take courage. Encourage yourself and others to never cease in trying. I hope your daily self-development is going your way. I hope your path moves in the direction you want, and maybe one day it coincides with mine, and those paths converge. Thank you again. Until next time.